Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video we'll be taking a look at the huge reveals for Age of Sigmar from today's Warhammer Fest online preview. Yesterday's Warhammer Fest Online was awesome and some great reveals for Warhammer 40k, but today is all about Age of Sigmar, and I think if you're a fan of the factions featured, you're in for a real treat, and if you're not, I still think you're going to be impressed by some of these models. So let's get started and take a look at everything that was revealed today. If you didn't get a chance to see it online through the Twitch channel on the Warhammer community site, then this will serve as a roundup covering everything that they showed. So hopefully this will save you a little bit of time. You won't have to watch it for a full hour. We can get it done in under 10 minutes and show you all the awesome models that were previewed. This guy looks pretty happy, so let's see what he's looking at. And it's the first reveal, and it's for the Skaven. And now we're going to see the first model, which is the Deathmaster. The Deathmaster is the Skaven's expert assassin and their most lethal killers. If you saw the recent Underworld set, then you'll have seen some of the Skaven that look very much like this guy. So if you wanted to put together a Warcry warband, grab this model. That warband from the Underworld set, you got a nice set of miniatures there, all with the same theme. And here we can see some pictures up close. And so he's got that sewer piece of terrain there that we see a current theme running through these models, certainly with the Underworld's ones. And it's so obviously part of a sewer system. But in the preview, they didn't want to say sewer. It was almost like they didn't want to go along with that trope. But I think you just got to embrace it. And this is what these guys dwell in. They're going to thrive down there. And so why not just go with it? It certainly looks good having the sewer terrain, in my opinion. Now, after seeing this model, you might be expecting lots of new models for the Skaven, but this is it. This is all we're going to get to see right now. There's no mention of any new models either on top of this one, so I think with this and the Underworlds, that could be it for the time being. But there is some more news for the Skaven, as they're going to get their own new battle tome. And this is going to include the new rules. It's going to include the warband from Underworlds, the rules for the Deathmaster, and you can go and build your army of clan rats, vermin lords, or screaming bells. And so it's going to have everything you need in there, as you would expect from the battle tomes. Let's move on to the next set of reveals, and this is my favourite. This is going to be some awesome models coming up, and so I think you're going to be really impressed with some of these. These are now the Sylvaneth. And they're getting tons of new models, and they've been done so well. First up, we've got the Spite Rider Lancers. And so these look really cool on these flying beasts. We've got the shields and like the jousting flags. And this is the other version you can build with the Sai and the shield. We've got the Gossamed Archers. These are possibly my favourite models from this whole reveal today. I think these are fantastic. So some scary fairies there. And we've also got the Lady of the Vines. And this is going to be a pretty big model compared to the others. And I think it just looks fantastic. I really like the Sylvaneth. So to see these models now as complementing the existing range, I'm really happy to see this. So first up, we've got the Lady of the Vines, and she was the handmaiden of Alarielle, and she was resurrected by Alarielle, and so now she's going to be doing battle against her biggest foe, the Plague Bearers, and you can see one of the Plague Bearers there underneath her foot as she's crushing him into the ground. They told us in the reveal that she's not going to be as powerful as Alarielle, but she is going to be more powerful than an infantry, more on a monster hero level. So yeah, it's going to be pretty exciting. She's got the ability to summon units to the army, and along with buffs and different magic spells as well. So yeah, really exciting model, this one. And she's certainly in keeping with that sinister look of the Spite Revenants and some of the Dryads too. But here are my favourite, the Gossamed Archers. I think these are just brilliant. This really fits in with the vibe of the Sylvaneth, and having some archers that can fly and get around the battlefield really quickly, I think is a great addition to the army. These are going to be fantastic for Warcry, so I would definitely be looking to pick up a set of these. Now these guys don't have the wings attached to them. They're actually called Zephyr Wing Spites, and these are big grubs that cling onto the back of them and fly them around the battlefield, and this gives them the fast, solid archers that you really want in your army. They're flexible. The arrows are really interesting as well. When they shot at the enemy, they shatter and turn into bugs that then swarm and dig into the fighters on impact. So really interesting. I love the direction they're going in. This has really got forest elven fairy vibe to it, and I think it's going to be fantastic. I can't wait to see what people do when they get these painted up. Next, we've got the Spite Rider Lancers. Some more great models. I really like these two, but I definitely prefer the previous ones, the Gossamid Archers. But these can be built in two different ways. You can either have them as Spite Rider Lancers or Revenant Seekers. If you go with the Lancers, they're going to be your shock cavalry, and they're riding these spites, which are bigger than horses apparently, so that's pretty cool. They're going to be hard hitting, and they said to think of them on the same level as the eels from the Ideneth Deepkin. They're going to be a fast unit with lots of attacks and dealing a lot of damage too. I think I'd be tempted to build them as Revenant Seekers because they've got some good abilities by the sounds of it. This is the optional build from the same set, and they're still going to be hard-hitting cavalry, but they're going to synergize with the other units in your army, and they're going to have different heads. They've got those elven spite revenant looking heads, they've got the sickles, and they're going to be harvesting soul pods of the fallen Sylvaneth during the battle so that they're not corrupted and so they don't fall to chaos. And what they can do with them then is soak up that power, regenerate units, and keep other units alive. So I think that's pretty interesting, and I really like the look of these. Maybe not the colour of the spites they're riding, but certainly the Revenant Seekers themselves look really great. So some really nice models, and they did say in this section that they're going to be released really soon, sooner than we might expect. So that's really good news, but it gets better. There's also a brand new battle tome for the Sylvaneth, which is going to include everything you'd expect. Path to Glory, you're going to be able to build your army in some new ways as well. So look out for that coming really soon. At this point, I thought it's not going to get much better than those archers, but then look what comes along. Some amazing models, some new Ogroids, and these are going to be the Ogroid Therodons. I love the model of the Ogroid Myrmidon in Warcry, and also the Beasts of Chaos. And so having these models now, the Ogroid Therodons, to add to the mix is brilliant. And they're going to come, what looks like in a set of 3 too. So not just one Ogroid, now we can get a nice box set of 3 of them. They did say in the preview that these are a new unit and a sub-faction, so that's pretty interesting. You've got the choice of having them holding these two-handed weapons, or they can hold the sword with the shield, and now you'll see that in a second, and I much prefer the shield. Definitely, it's in keeping with the Ogroid Myrmidon, so yeah, I really like the look of that. These are quite cool though. Remind me a little bit of the Bulgors with the double-handed axe, but look at these shields. They look so good. They're going to be the way I think I would go if I get these ones. It was interesting to hear about the lore of these as well, how they used to have a vast empire allied with Gorka Morka, then went over to Archaon, were brought over to Chaos, and now they're working as some marshals for the Chaos army. So pretty interesting, and you can read more on the Warhammer community site if you're interested in finding out more about them. And the rules, and I'm sure the lore, will be included in the new Slaves to Darkness battle tome, which is also on the way. The next section is pitched as the start of a long build-up. Now this is exciting because this is going to be the reinvention of Cities of Sigmar. How cool is that? This is definitely needed. I've been looking forward to building a Cities of Sigmar warband for Warcry, but just wasn't drawn to enough of the models available at the moment. So this is something I'm really into, but it is going to be a long-running project over many months, so we're certainly not going to get to see any miniatures here today. We'll get a sneak peek at some of the components of the miniatures though, so let's have a look at those now. And here you can see some of the different iconography and heraldry that's going to be included in the new look of this reinvented Cities of Sigmar range. Now you might recognise these coins. These are the God King's coin, and these were given as part of the bonus if you ordered the Dominion box set on the GW website. But these are going to play a part in this new lore for the reinvention of the Cities of Sigmar, and these coins are given to warriors to go out and found new cities in the realms, and they're brave crusaders who set out battling against the odds and fighting all these monsters in this horrific setting, but they're just humans. So really interesting, and yeah, I can't wait to find out more about how these humans are going to fit in to Age of Sigmar. But if you kept those coins from your Dominion box set, then they're going to play a big part in it. We also got to see the preview for the General's Handbook. This is going to include 12 battle plans, which are made up of 6 generic and 6 themed to the different settings, which is still in the realm of beasts, but just in a different location. This is really going to be focusing on the infantry now, so you're going to get lots of bonuses. You can think of the infantry as being veterans of the realm of beasts, and so now they're going to come with lots of buffs and interesting mechanics, all designed around the infantry. And finally, we've got some new miniatures as part of the Black Library series. The first one is Drecky Flint, and he's a Caradron Overlord, and he's going to be the character taken from the new book, The Archanaut's Oath by Guy Haley. And the second is Kado Ezekiar, the Hollow King. He's a Soulblight vampire. Always great to see more vampires in Age of Sigmar, and a really great model. And he's taken from the book The Hollow King by John French. So there we go. How cool is that? Some awesome reveals for Age of Sigmar. I'd love to hear what you think about all this. Which is your favourite model released here? And how excited are you about the Cities of Sigmar news? I can't wait to find out more about that. And the release date for those scary fairies. But to be fair, those Ogroids are pretty good too. So I think if the Ogroid Myrmidon didn't already exist, they would probably be my favourite. But I'm loving this new range of Sylvaneth. But let me know what you think. I'd love to hear about it. And also come back tomorrow where I'll be doing a roundup of the Skirmish game reveals that are going to be in day 3 of Warhammer Fest, where we're going to see Kill Team, Underworlds, Warcry, and they also mentioned Middle Earth is going to get some news as well. So lots to cover tomorrow. But for now, thanks so much for watching. Please like if you like it, subscribe for more videos like this, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to join me next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'd like to say a huge thank you to my Patreon supporters who make these daily videos possible, and if you're interested in joining the community, it'd be awesome to see you there, and I'll put a link for that in the description down below.